This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
White noise whispers through my veins, 1,000 ghosts repeating my name. I reach through static, but nothing replies. Just the hum of silence beneath my eyes. Every truth is a coded sin. If I can't hear it, do I still begin? If I can't tune in, would I be better off dead? The signal fades, still screams in my head. If I can't tune in.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Thursday, November the 13th of 2025, day 317th of the year, and only 48 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. Oh yes, that is for sure. As we are broadcasting across the multiverse of Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes, and yes. That is how we do it. So how has it been? How's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Hopefully good. It's always an important time as we are able to hang out and do our thing. So if you're not familiar with what we do around here, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. We talk about everything that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. And, we get to hang out for the next few hours. This is the only hour that's recorded on video and put into a podcast. Everything else is just kind of radio big-ish. If you kind of go over there, we'll talk about that stuff as we are going forward.
Why tune into this show? Entertainment Weekly called it freaking fantastic. People magazine said, "Are you kidding me? What else do you need to know?"
Really, none of that stuff was said, but it does sound good when you put it into some kind of a package deal. So that's the thing. No, but in all seriousness, if you want to interact with our show as we doing all the stuff we get to do, all you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you do that, it'll give me a little prompt over there, letting me know what exactly needs to be done. Not like I'm an AI or something, but just a little prompt on what's happening inside of the world of the multi. And then from that point on, I know where to go. Then we start singing, "How low can you go?" No, we'll leave that for something else. So there you go. Once you get there, callinradio.com, audio, video, and text messaging are the options of what you get to do on that side. And then we go from there. That's how we're moving, and we're evolving through the whole thing. No doubt as we're going through all of it. Seriously. So with that being said, let's do a little bit of this. When we go through the whole process of talking about everything that goes on, it's news stories in hour number 1. It's news stories in 2 and 3, but it's more entertainment based, where the first hour, we're mostly talking about stuff that is going on for you to have something to talk about with your staff as you are hanging out. And then we get into maybe some hardcore news and hardcore stuff related to safety. So there you go. That's it. So why don't we do this? I have some friends that are here from Feature Story News. What they like to do is they like to sit around and talk about what the hell's going on inside of the multiverse. So why don't we do that? Let's have them come in and do their thing.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punya. The U.S. government shutdown is officially over. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed the funding measure that was passed by the House. The shutdown is the longest in American history. The measure finally made it out of the Senate after a handful of Democrats joined Republicans to pass the spending bill, which extends funding till the 30th of January. Simon Marks has more.
The House was essentially voting on exactly the proposal that had been passed by the Senate, which of course was passed in the Senate because there 8 Democrats switched sides to join with the Republicans. In the House of Representatives here tonight, it was 6 Democrats who crossed party lines to vote with the Republicans, although 2 Republicans went in the other direction and voted against this reopening of the government.
Indian authorities have reportedly identified the suspect in the Delhi blast case. He's believed to be the person who was driving the car when it exploded on Monday evening. Officials earlier confirmed that explosion is being treated as a terror incident. 12 people were killed and more than 30 injured. India's cabinet released a statement saying the attack was perpetrated by, quote, anti-national forces.
As investigations continue, India has vowed to bring those involved in Monday's blast to justice as quickly as possible. For the first time on Wednesday, India confirmed that the deadly explosion outside Delhi's historic Red Fort is being treated as a terror incident. Local media reports say that the prime suspect in the blast has been identified and that investigative agencies have collected DNA samples from his family in Kashmir to try to confirm his identity. Police are also reported to have been investigating whether there is any link between the blast and the arrests of 7 men from Kashmir earlier this week found with bomb-making material. Rebecca Bundin, Mumbai.
China's purchase of American soybeans appear to have stalled. That's despite a recent trade truce that signaled thawing relations between the world's 2 biggest economies. The pause is fueling uncertainty over whether the biggest consumer of American soybeans will import as much as U.S. President Donald Trump's administration claims to expect. Laura Westbrook is reporting.
After a flurry of orders last month, which were the first of this season, Chinese imports of U.S. cargoes seem to have faltered, according to reports. After U.S. President Donald Trump met Chinese President Xi Jinping last month, U.S. officials said China had agreed to buy 12 million tons of U.S. soybeans by the end of the year. China has yet to confirm specific purchase commitments mentioned by Trump's team, but Beijing has reduced tariffs on American soybeans and lifted import bans on 3 American exporters.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the efforts to save 15 penguins that are allegedly trapped in a London basement. More than 70 lawmakers have now joined an effort to free the penguins held in an aquarium in County Hall, right opposite the Houses of Parliament, or at least get them released into more appropriate surroundings. At the moment, they are denied natural light, have only about 7 feet of water in which to swim, and demonstrators carrying placards that read, "Free the 15," have taken to London streets to demand action. Danny Chambers is a Liberal Democrat Member of Parliament and also a veterinary surgeon.
You've got to remember that good animal welfare also includes the ability to express natural behaviour, to behave naturally. These penguins aren't kept in that situation. You know, the pool isn't deep enough. They're not exposed to any natural light. They're not outside at all. It's just in the basement. They don't look particularly happy. So we know that the UK has some of the highest animal welfare standards in the world, whether it's zoos or whether it's farming. And it doesn't send a very good message when we have, right in the heart of London, right next to Parliament, animals being kept in such poor conditions.
The aquarium owners are pushing back against the criticism, saying the penguins are healthy and thriving. Releasing them into the wild simply isn't a safe option for these penguins who have always lived in human care, said a spokesman. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. The U.S. government shutdown is officially over. US President Donald Trump has signed the funding measure that was passed by the House. Indian authorities have reportedly identified the suspect in the Delhi blast case. 12 people were killed and more than 30 injured. China's purchase of American soybeans appear to have stalled. That's despite a recent trade truce that signaled thawing relations between the world's two biggest economies. And that is the latest feature story news. Neha Punya reporting.
But beat down, rated R, safety show.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out on this lovely Thursday doing our fun stuff. No doubt about that. Okay, so let's get into some of the news stories right away about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. A woman named Priscilla went viral after rejecting her boyfriend's $898 Walmart engagement ring, not because of the price, but because he ignored her preference, posting on Threads. She shared a screenshot of their text exchange explaining that she told him multiple times what kind of ring she wanted. If you knew what I wanted and still chose to do what was easiest, she wrote, it tells me you don't really hear me. I want to feel chosen, not just proposed to. The post sparked social media firestorm. Some users criticized her, calling her ungrateful and materialistic, while others sided with her, saying, hey, the issue isn't the ring. It was about her partner not listening. And commenters summed it up with, it's not about the price, it's about the effort. So she didn't say yes or no. She just returned it to sender. I guess that's one way to take a look at it when it's all said and done, because, hey, that's just kind of the way that the world goes when it's all done all over the place. Anyways, a gym in Maine, or should I say a Maine gym teacher is probably the better way to word this, sinks 1,516 three-pointers in 1 hour. Ryan Martin, a high school gym teacher from Maine, may have just scored his third Guinness World Record after sinking an incredible 1,516 three-pointers in 1 hour. The Saco Middle School teacher made the shots Monday night, attempting 1,683 total, beating the previous record of 1,372 by 145. Martin credited the energy to his cheering students and his colleague Nick Wilson for helping him push through when he hit the painful side cramp halfway through. Martin isn't new to world records. He already holds two other ones, one for 1,134 three-pointers in 1 hour from NBA distance and 2,494 free throws in 1 hour. A former college basketball standout and Mr. Maine basketball winner, Martin now adds another title to the list, and a sore shooting arm goes with it, that's for sure. So let me make sure that I say this, 1,516 three-pointers. So does that mean that he made every single one of them? I'm just trying to figure this out, because that's a lot of three-pointers, number one. And in an hour time frame, if you're doing that, but that, I mean, I'm just looking at it and going, how many did he miss compared to how many did he make? Because that's going to always be a question in the same standard, in the same style, no doubt about that. So, okay, let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world, because, you know, why would we not do that? A North Carolina jury has ordered TikTok influencer Brene Kennard to pay $1.75 million to the wife of a man that she was accused of having an affair with. The lawsuit filed by Akira Montag in Durham County accused Kennard of criminal conversation and alienation of affection, a rare civil claim still recognized in a handful of U.S. states. Montag alleged that Kennard, who has nearly 3 million TikTok followers, which I don't know why that's important to the story, carried on a romantic and sexual relationship with her husband, who was also Kennard's manager, leading to the collapse of their marriage. Court documents claim that Kennard flirted, seduced, and slept with Montag's husband, even in the couple's home, and posted videos including him and their children without consent. Montag said that the affair caused several emotions, distress, humiliation, and therapist costs, ultimately destroying her family. A jury ruled in Montag's favor on November the 10th, awarding her $1.75 million in damages. Kennard has called the verdict outrageous, saying that she may have won the battle, but not the war. Well, that doesn't sound like it's a scripted line at all. God will have the final say. North Carolina is one of the 6 states, along with Mississippi, New Mexico, Hawaii, Utah, and South Dakota, where a spouse can legally sue someone for breaking up their marriage. Do you think it's unfair that Brene has to pay the wife $1.75 million? I'm just asking the question here. I mean, yes, it is a law that still exists, like I said, in those 6 states. But what does it mean? Like, what does it mean to you? Does it make sense that this still occurs, or is it one of those things that you go, this is an outdated law? Because it becomes interesting. Let's not lie about it. When it's all said and done. So we'll continue talking in regards to what the hell is going on, because that's just kind of the way that it goes from time to time. Anyways, take a listen to this. A phone that is stolen in the U.S. ends up in China. A viral Reddit post has turned into a cautionary tale about iPhone theft and scams. A user shared their iPhone that was stolen in Las Vegas. And days later, its location appeared to move across several U.S. states before ending up in China. The victim said that the phone was unlocked and possibly on airplane mode when it was taken. After receiving text messages asking them to remove the phone from Apple Find Me feature, they complied, thinking that it was part of a security process. That move, however, gave thieves full access to the device. The post exploded online with millions of views and hundreds of comments from users explaining the scam. Thieves send fake Apple messages to trick victims into removing the stolen phone from the iCloud and allowing it to reset and be resold. Commentators emphasize that victims should never remove stolen device from their iCloud list. Leaving it locked keeps the unstable or untrackable. I think that the unstable part is incorrect. Maybe it's more unusable and trackable. Once you remove it, though, it basically is free, unlocked phone for resale. So there you go. So from Vegas to China, that phone is living a better life than its owner, probably more than likely, based on what it sounds like. So there you go with that one. So take a listen to this. President Trump told Laura Ingraham on the Ingraham Angle that he believes all of his children could one day become presidents. During a Fox News interview that aired over 2 nights, Trump gave Ingraham a tour of the renovation that he's been personally overseeing, pointing out the marble look, ventilation covers, and other details. And he said that it demonstrates his lifelong passion for building. Trump credited his father, Fred Trump, for teaching him construction, the basics, when he says that he was a boy, saying that he learned early how to recognize quality and perfection in design. When asked whether any of the kids share the meticulous eye, Trump praised each of them, calling Eric very good, Don Jr. good in a different way, Ivanka excellent, Tiffany very smart, and Barron tremendous and meticulous. When Ingram asked which Trump might be the next to hold the Oval Office, the president said that he believes certainly that they all could.
And I think Barron's going to be tremendous at that. Yeah, he's very meticulous.
Is he here?
He is. He's here. Oh. He's right upstairs. Want to see him?
Studying, yeah. I'd love to say hi.
He's doing a good job. He's tall.
A lot of people think he could be the next Trump president.
I don't know. I think,
or a lot of people are wondering which child would be the best.
In a certain way, they all could.
Yeah, but a certain way they all could, as you just heard there. So there you go. Okay, so take a listen to this. After 43 days, 43 days, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. It's finally over. President Trump signed a bill last night from the White House to reopen the federal government, ending weeks of gridlock and disruption. Earlier this evening, the House of Representatives passed the funding package in a 222 to 209, paving the way for Trump approval. The shutdown had dragged on for more than a month, causing widespread hardship, grounding travel, delaying paychecks, and leaving millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet. So there you go. Some stuff finally taking place there. So I guess that's a good thing when it's all said and done and you're taking a listen to all of this. I mean, that's 43 days is a long ass time when you start thinking about this and trying to make things work. Imagine that, not getting your paycheck if you're leaving paycheck to paycheck for 43 days. That's going to do a number. Take a listen to this one. House of Democrats released new emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate yesterday that and two of them mentioned President Trump by name. The messages were made public by the House of Oversight and Government Reform Committee as part of the ongoing investigation into Epstein's activities. According to ABC News and Politico, 3 emails exchanged were shared in 2019. An email, Epstein told journalist Michael Wolff that Trump asked me to resign from Mar-a-Lago, never a member ever, and claimed that Trump knew about the girls and asked Maxwell to stop. In a 2011 email, Epstein wrote to Maxwell about Trump being the dog that hasn't barked, referencing Trump as a silent about Epstein's activities. Maxwell replied, I have been thinking about that. A 2015 exchange showed that Epstein and Wolff discussing how Trump might respond if asked about the relationship during his campaign. Wolff suggesting Epstein let him hang himself if Trump denied knowing him. Politico notes that there is no evidence that Trump participated in Epstein's trafficking operation. The White House has not commented on the newly released emails. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other stuff for sure here. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has decided to pause the planned increased flight reduction, keeping the current 6% cut in place rather than raising it to 8%, citing improving staffing levels and fewer cancellations and delays despite the ongoing federal government shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said that the FAA's safety team was encouraged by the surge of air traffic control staffing and wanted more time to assess airspace operations before resuming normal flight schedule. The move follows President Trump's Truth Social post demanding that air traffic controllers return to work immediately, warning that anyone refusing could face penalties. Duffy later said that the president's message was heard loud and clear, and that the controllers would be paid quickly once the shutdown ends, including 70% of back pay within 48 hours and a proposed $10,000 bonus for those who remain on duty. So what do you think? What do you think? I mean, that's an interesting one, regardless on how you look at it. Think about it for a moment here. So we're going to go back 43 days without getting paid. I don't know if you start doing a side hustle. Let's just say hypothetically you did. And then all of a sudden you're getting bitched out by your boss, regardless on how you look at it, that you did not, and I am saying did not, go to work while you were not getting paid. It's kind of just one of those rando-ando things.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about relationship in life. A survey says that 61% of people have revenge cleaned after an argument. What you go and post about and fight move. So the marriage math studies say that couples who split chores equally have better sex life. Coincidence or motivation? Breakup rules. How long do you wait before deleting the ex from your socials? Do you actually mean to never look again? I mean, that would be the question. And then money moment. 52% of Americans admit they rather find $20 than get a compliment. I get that. I understand that stuff. That makes sense to me. Okay, so let's continue talking because maybe we should get into a little bit more serious stuff here, before we get into our main course here. But have you heard about this? After 232 years, the American penny has officially been retired. The Treasury Department announced the 1-cent coin's death in Philadelphia yesterday, citing irrelevance and cost. Once able to buy candy or gum, the penny has long since lost its spending power, and which each one is costing more than 3 cents to make. Economics finally caught up. Treasurer Brandon Beach struck the final penny at the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, marking the end of an era that began back in 1793. Mint director Christy McNally said that the coin's legacy lives on. Even through when production is finished. The penny's demise comes after years of rising production costs from 1.42 cents to 3.69 cents each, and in fact, that are roughly 300 billion of them are floating around the economy. So yeah, they might stop making them, but doesn't mean that they're all gone yet, if you kind of get my drift there. Anyways, the penny's gone, but I'll live on. In your car cup, and cup holders forever. So there's some stuff to think about as we are thinking about all this stuff. So there you go. So let's talk about this because we are already getting into that cold time of the year. So depending on where you're located on the planet, let's talk about, some things that are going on because maybe that is some things that we do. As if scraping the outside of cars wasn't enough, lately it's been so cold the frost has been accumulating inside of our windows. So here's a great tip to dissolve 2 tablespoons of salt in a gallon of water, then use a rag to wipe down the sides of your window and then the windshield with the mixture. Caution, do not use on the car exterior because the salt could corrode the metal. As the solution dries, it will leave an invisible layer of salt, which, thanks to the low freezing temperatures, will keep the frost from forming in full for a month or more. So that's some stuff to think about. So what do you think here? It's definitely some stuff to think about. I would say minimally something to think about.
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
Action, not mere words, determine the validity of a man's living philosophy.
But the other lesson of life that is rarely mastered is the art of fulfillment.
Okay, so here you go. When life feels stuck, trying something unfamiliar can re-energize and restore your sense of agency. The NHS lists learn a new skill and being curious, open-minded as key mental well-being. So if you need a tip, pick something that you're always wondered about: drawing, baking, coding, foreign phrases, and so on, and commit 30 minutes a week to exploring it. And mistakes would be allowed. I think that I started committing to something new last week now that I'm giving it some thought. Doing something out of the ordinary, that was definitely my Friday night. I'll put it to you that way, just to say the least. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past the hour, so let's do this.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, Rated R Safety Show, and we are still hanging out talking about everything that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of what we do, as we're doing all of the fun stuff that is going on inside of here. So, we do a main story every single one of these things. It kind of feels like it's super important to do, opposed to it just being a conversation and not talking much about anything. And some people like this idea of the main story, and some people hate it. I've been told that sometimes it comes across as too judgy, as it's too judgmental at times in regards to what we talk about. But I also try to bring in some of the stuff that I get to see while I'm on the road. So with that being said, I've had the locations go, were you talking about us once your show aired? Or let me say this.
Were you talking about us once your show aired?
Well, there's probably some truth to it. I never name anybody by name for the most part, because I try to avoid that. But let's do this today. As we are talking about this, understand that I am not talking about anybody in particular. I am just talking about some stuff that I've seen. And here's the thing. If you hear the phrase, the myth of the unbroken system, there's a phrase there that I hear in meetings, post-incident reviews, and even casual hallway conversations. The system is broken. The system is broken. It rolls off the tongue so easily that it doesn't. I mean, does it really make sense when somebody says that? It sounds definitive, it sounds smart, and it even sounds like we've identified finally the enemy. Like, this is the thing that's causing the issue. It's broken. But the thing is, most of the time, the system isn't broken. It's just doing exactly what we build it to do, and it's doing exactly what it can do, given the people, the pressures, the priorities, and the constraints that it was surrounded with. So let me give you a brief little backstory. About a year ago, I worked with a group that prided itself of being a world-class safety team. Yeah, world-class. I don't know what the world-class safety team is, but that's what they said. They had procedures that I had never seen in one place, and everything from how to tie a harness to how to make coffee. And this is not a joke as I'm saying this. A document attached to it. And they even believe that because they had procedures for everything, that the system was unbreakable. And then one day, of course, someone got hurt. and doing a simple task, a routine job, something that they had done hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. And immediately the leadership said the system failed. Because, that's kind of what the cool kids would say. They held meetings, they formed committees, and they even wrote even more procedures to fix what had been broken, according to them. But after sitting with the crew, I realized the truth. The system hadn't failed. It had performed perfectly according to the design. It rewarded the compliance over awareness. It punished deviation more than it encouraged learning. It trained people to follow the steps, but never to see the story unfolding around them. And this is where it became difficult for some. So when the unexpected happened, they did what the system had taught them to do. They followed a checklist, not context. And the checklist didn't have an answer for what was happening in real time. That's not a broken system. That is a revealing system. We would like to think that all these things will change, but we like to think that if we just engineer more precision, more control, more documentation, we'll get closer to perfection. I want you to think about this. Think about when you have a meeting from a meeting, or a meeting before a meeting, or a meeting after the meeting about the meeting. But here's where it gets interesting, because control doesn't make systems safer. It just makes them more brittle. The moment something shifts, a supplier runs late, a tool gets broken, a decision gets rushed, the system snaps because it lost the ability to flex. Real safety, the kind that lasts, is built on flexibility. It's built on people who can adapt, improvise, and create solutions when the script doesn't fit the scene. I think about all these weird things that have happened in my career, on how we decided to determine that these systems needed to be done by X and X alone. And that's the paradox. The tighter we try to grip the system, the more fragile it becomes. The more rules we create to eliminate failure and less space that we leave for discovery, we end up designing systems that protect us from learning, because every deviation becomes a violation instead of a lesson. Have you ever noticed how kids learn to walk? Like, think about it for a moment. They fall a lot, and every fall teaches them balance. If you told a child falling is not permitted, they'd never learn to move. And yet, that's exactly what many of our safety systems do. They try to outlaw the process that builds resilience. We punish error and we isolate blame. We treat the event as a disease instead of a symptom. And then we say, hey, the system's broken, or the system's broke, or this doesn't work. But maybe the system isn't broken at all. Maybe it's just being honest on what it's seeing, on how it's interacting. Maybe it's saying, hey, this is what you designed me to do. I follow orders, I minimize variance, I shut down curiosity. And the moment that something new happens, I freeze. I just don't know what to do. So what if we flipped it? What if, instead of asking who broke the system, we ask, what truth did the system just show us? That one question changes everything. It turns failure into feedback. It turns accidents into sights, and it moves us from control to curiosity. Every broken system is a reality mirror. It is a real mirror. It shows us our assumptions, incentives, and expectations line up against reality. And sometimes reflection isn't pretty. I mean, let's just be real. It shows us that we've optimized for paperwork instead of performance, for compliance instead of competence, and for comfort instead of curiosity. But there's the beautiful part. When we see it clearly, we can change it. We can redesign it, the system, not avoid the failure, but learn from it. We can create spaces where people can speak, share what went wrong, and not fear punishment for being human. Because that's what all systems forget eventually. They're made by humans, and mostly for humans, and humans are messy. We're creative, we're inconsistent, and simultaneously the greatest risk and the greatest resource any organization has. So when the system breaks, take a breath, just for a moment. Don't rush to fix the crack, because that's where we normally have all kinds of problems. Look through it, because the other side of the fracture is usually the truth in things that the system's been trying to hide for a long period of time. And that truth is under layers of compliance and confidence. So resilience isn't about the absence of failure. It's the ability to recover and reroute to rebound. That's the kind of system that we should be building, not the unbroken kind, but the unafraid kind. Maybe that's what we should be looking for. Because in the end of the day, in all reality, the unbroken system isn't the one that never fails. It's the one that never stops learning.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Some of the best things in life come to those who wait, but we ain't waiting for shit. Real big.
Okay, here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Doing all kinds of fun stuff as we hang out into this multiverse. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on inside of here. Yeah, this one was right here called Can't Tune In. Yeah, there you go. You can only hear it right here for right now. We'll get that fixed at some point, I would imagine. Okay, so let's get into it right now as we are talking. And let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's going to be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support. That's all you have to do. Go to the website, TWLOHA.com, go all the way to the far right-hand side, and click on where it says Find Help. Believe me, it can change everything for you if you give it the opportunity to. No doubt about that one as we are talking. So let's continue doing our thing. Always a good time when we are talking. And it's that time to talk about things that kids learn from cartoons.
It's time for Things Kids Learn from Cartoons.
Look, the thing is, me and my new girlfriends, we've kind of been talking trash about you and laughing behind your back.
Peter, of course your new friends have been talking crap about me. That's what women do.
What?
That's it for Things Kids Learn from Cartoons.
Okay, so there you go. Things that kids learn from cartoons. Not saying that it's all right, but hey, it's part of what's going on. Anyways, take a listen to this. In Melbourne, 374 bagpipers join forces to play AC/DC's It's a Long Way to the Top. If you want to rock and roll, smashing the world record of the largest bagpipe ensemble, the event called for the Great Melbourne Bagpipe Bash took place in Federation Square, just blocks away from where AC/DC filmed the original music video in 1976. Yeah, that's what I said there. Two members of Rat's Trobuck Pipe Band who appeared in the classic video, Kevin Kanian and Les Kenfield, also took part. The new record beats the previous one of 333 pipers set in Bulgaria back in 2012. Yeah, I mean, take a listen to that stuff.
Hayden, who's come from Haileybury to be involved in this world record-breaking attempt. How's it feel? How are you doing?
It's loud, definitely. I was really excited for this event. Now it's over. I'm just still full of adrenaline.
I was really excited for this event, but now that it's over, I'm full of adrenaline. Okay, so there you go. Some stuff to talk about. No doubt there. So what do you think? Would you want to have been part of the largest bagpipe fiasco that has taken place on the planet? Because, I mean, that could have been an interesting time. No doubt about that as we are talking. So if you need one of these, I want you to think about this. If you need something to start off your meeting today, as your stand-up, try this one. I got a little riddle for you. A man was digging and found a block of ice with 2 people in it. And immediately he knew that it was Adam and Eve. How did he know? Give up? I'll tell you. They had no belly button. Yep. Maybe use that one today. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going in with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Martin. Theodore Roosevelt said, "In a moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing." What a cool quote. I've heard this before. We may have shared it here before as well. We can all agree the best thing is the right thing. And I think we can also agree the wrong thing is not great, but it's still better than doing nothing at all. Sometimes it's hard to do the right thing. The wrong thing might be the easier path, but don't get hung up on easy. Take the right path each time. It leads to the best place. No action, that leads to the worst place.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Israeli forces have killed 3 Palestinians in Gaza over the past 24 hours, despite a U.S.-brokered ceasefire agreement.
The United Nations reports that Israel is blocking essential aid from entering Gaza, including 1.6 million syringes needed for child vaccinations and nearly 1 million bottles of baby formula. UNICEF states that these restrictions are hindering immunization efforts for over 40,000 children under 3 against polio, measles, and pneumonia. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Thailand is demanding an apology from Cambodia after accusing its forces of laying new landmines that injured Thai soldiers near the border.
A Thai foreign ministry official says they have requested Cambodia investigate the incident and identify those responsible while implementing measures to prevent future occurrences. Cambodia's defense ministry denies placing any new landmines in the disputed area. The clash highlights ongoing tensions over the border region that have persisted for years. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
At least 42 migrants are presumed dead after their boat capsized off the coast of Libya last week.
The United Nations Migration Agency reports that the vessel was carrying migrants attempting to cross the Mediterranean when it overturned. Search and rescue operations have recovered some bodies, but many remain missing in the dangerous waters. Chris Anderson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Nearly 900 flights have been canceled across the U.S. as the government shutdown disrupts air travel operations.
The Federal Aviation Administration has furloughed thousands of safety inspectors and air traffic controllers, leading to widespread delays and cancellations. Airlines report chaos at major airports, with passengers facing long waits and rebookings. Even if Congress approves funding today, experts say flight disruptions could continue for days as staff return to work. Liam White reporting.
The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia has pressed its final penny, marking the end of production for the 1-cent coin.
The decision follows years of debate over the coin's cost, which exceeds its face value due to rising metal prices. The mint will phase out pennies from circulation over the next few years while continuing to produce other denominations. This change aims to save taxpayers millions annually in manufacturing expenses. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The Supreme Court has extended a stay on a lower court order requiring full funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program this month.
The Trump administration sought the pause after a district court ruled that the shutdown cannot withhold SNAP benefits from millions of recipients. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued the initial administrative hold, and the High Court is now reviewing the case for potential broader implications. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio
USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yeah, still hanging out here. 54 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date. As I take a look around, it goes something like this. Back in 1989, Paul McCartney releases Figure of Eight. So there you go. That happened back on this date. What else happened right here? 1979, Ronald Reagan in New York announces his candidacy for the president of the United States. So there you go. There's some celebrity birthdays going on today. Joe Montega turned 78. Francis Convoy turned 72. Chris Noth turned 71. I would have never guessed that. Also, Whoopi Goldberg turned 70. Jimmy Kimmel turns 58. Gerard Butler turns 56. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about some things you ought to know for today. NFL, this is tonight. The Jets take on the Patriots at 8:15 Eastern time. Catch it on Prime Video. Here's last night's winning Powerball numbers: 29, 39, 43, 51, 65. Powerball was 23, and Power Play was 2. Let's see. Speaker Mike Johnson said the House of Representatives will vote next week on bill compelling the Justice Department to release all files related to the investigation of late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to put on the floor the full vote when we get back next week, Johnson told reporters yesterday. Also, a jury in federal court in Chicago ordered Boeing yesterday to pay more than $28 million to family of the United Nations environmental workers who were killed in 2019 for the crash of the S-37 MAX jet in Ethiopia. The verdict was awarded to the families in the first of dozens of lawsuits filed in the wake of the crash in another in Indonesia in 2018, which killed 346 people. A federal judge has ordered that hundreds of people detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement be released from federal facilities in the next week because their arrests by ICE were possibly unlawful in the violation of federal court order. Attorney of the National Immigrant Justice Center and the ACLU of Illinois say that federal agents have arrested thousands of people in Chicago and Illinois during Operation Midway Blitz without a warrant and probable cause. So there you go. Some stuff going on as we are talking. No doubt about that. Also, in some other news, if you need some news of the weird, it is said that when a person cries, that the first drop of tears come from the right eye. It's happiness. If it comes from the left, it's the pain of sadness. So there you go. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so, continuing this show. But we will be talking about the world of music and entertainment if you want to go over there. If you stay here on Safety FM, you can hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. You have some options on things that you can do if you choose to do so. So there you go. With that being said, let me leave you with some words of wisdom. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. So to keep that in mind. And if you need some advice for today, try this one. Tape aluminum foil to the wall behind your radiator to reflect the heat back into the room instead of to the wall. Old school brilliance. I'm just telling you. I've seen this done all kinds of times before. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Let me dissolve where the silence began.
one last breath, one last spin. If I can't find the signal, let it find me in the